Hey, everyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi.
Can you guys see me?
Yes.
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 Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. Wow, it's great to finally see everyone. So excited.
Yes.
Do you want to get
Hey, Blackwell family, is there any way you can turn for us,
Well,
your
yes,
profile,
like this.
yeah, there we go.
Wait, oh, I wonder if I do this. Okay, tell me if this
There you go.
works.
That's it right there.
That worked? Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Can you see us all? Tyson, scoot in.
Yep.
Here
Can
we
see
go.
everyone.
Okay, good.
See everyone's beautiful faces.
Good.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good. Wow, everyone was there was a whole lineup of people who wanted to join, who were waiting to join.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Yeah,
It's Darren.
There's
Hello.
Darren.
there he
How you
is.
guys doing?
All right, how are you doing?
All right, pretty good. Good to see you guys.
See you.
Thanks Darren, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of the Special Spectators Arkansas football virtual experience. We are really honored to have you, and I'm so honored to introduce you to our families from Arkansas Children's Hospital.
I definitely appreciate you guys having me on. I look forward to it.
I'm just gonna wait a minute because we have more families to join. Plus we have a ton of friends from Walmart and from General Mills joining as well.
All right.
So let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Still wait here. We're still waiting for a couple more families to join.
No need to cut the TV off in the back.
No, I don't think it's interfering with sound or anything.
Okay. Well, I have to cut the mute. Okay. I'll slide this way just so it doesn't show as much.
So who's been to an Arkansas football game before out of the Special Spectators families? Wow, all right. So we've got some big fans here.
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Hello.
How you doing, Tori? And everybody get their boxes, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Super excited to open them.
And you've got them close by, right?
Yes.
Here.
Okay. All right.
Guess what?
Oh, no. What are you going to say?
Well, Darren, let me introduce you to the families that are here, and then by the time I'm done, maybe some of the other families will join as well.
All right.
Let's see. We'll go by my screen. I don't know if everyone's screen is arranged the same, but with the blazing red hair is Evan. Evan, if you can wave. Awesome. Great to see you.
Hello.
With the curly hair
Who's that?
is Tori.
Tori.
She raised her hand before I even said her name. She knew exactly who I was talking about. With his eye black on, all ready to go for game day, is Max.
I like it, Max. I like it, man. Looking nice.
And then we also have Jax with his eye black on.
Hi.
Look like you guys are prepared for game day.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That gets the game face going with the eye black. And then just joining us is Dean.
Hello.
Where's
Can
Dean?
you come over and say hi?
Is he being shy? Hi, Dean.
Hi, Dean.
How
How's
you
it
doing,
going,
buddy?
man?
And let's see. So that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. We've got Josie Lynn to still join. So hopefully she'll be on soon.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
What do you want to tell him?
I rode a bike today and I stopped it.
Oh, good job. That's so
Wow.
nice. You're a big girl.
Learning how to ride a bike without training wheels and stopping is a big deal around here.
Nice. It's better off to stop it before you crash.
Yes.
Before she could learn, we taught her to ride it in the grass. Just so
And
at
then just
least-
fall over.
That's the way to start.
You like to ride your bike, huh? Yeah.
And we've got a lot of friends on the call as well from Walmart and from General Mills. So
Oh,
we really appreciate all of their support. This wouldn't be possible without them. So thank you very, very much. And look who just joined us as well, Josie Lynn. She's got her eye black on as well.
Hello, Josie. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right, doing pretty good.
Look at all the support. This is great. So welcome everyone. We've got all the families here. We'll go ahead and get this started. I'm so excited to see everyone. It's reading all for those kids that are on. You might not know this. Your parents shared your stories and I'm just blown away, so inspired. Just incredible stories, incredible bios. So thank you for sharing those. And you guys have definitely inspired me. So thank you for that. And I'll just go ahead and introduce a living legend. I don't know how many times you get to meet a living legend, but out of what is it, Darren, 125 years of Razorback football history, this guy
Yes, sir.
is considered to be the greatest player ever in Razorback football history. So Darren McFadden, welcome to our Arkansas football virtual experience sponsored by General Mills. It's great to have you.
It's definitely on to be on. I look forward to chatting with you guys.
And we've already introduced the kids. So we have a few surprises in store. And parents know that there are a few surprises, but they don't know what the surprises are. As I told them, we want to keep a few cards close to the chest. But we are going to have a special guest come on in about 5 minutes or so. Do any of the kids have questions for Darren McFadden? Run DMC.
What did you do after the Razorbacks?
Can you repeat that again for me?
What did you do after the race?
What did you do after the Razorbacks?
I went to the NFL and I played 7 years with the Oakland Raiders and 3 years with the Dallas Cowboys.
How cool is that?
So cool.
Hey, and Darren, just to warn you, these kids are going to ask really, really good questions. So
I look forward to it.
we may need to get them press credentials from the athletic department pretty soon. All right, who else has?
Nice.
Let's see, Tori's arm up.
Ask him.
So how did you get it in the goal?
Oh, how did you run in the end zone?
Can you repeat it
How did
again
you
for
get
me?
it?
Sorry.
How did you run in the end zone?
Oh, I used to just run very, very fast and try to dodge all the guys on the opposite team.
Or you would just run over him.
Give him the stiff arm.
Josie Lynn, how about you?
What did you like most about playing with the Razorbacks?
For me, I grew up in Arkansas, so it was always a dream for me going to play with the Razorbacks. And just being there and being able to wear that hog on my hip was a lifelong dream for me. So I can't just say one special thing. It just was an honor to play for the Razorbacks.
At what age did you decide to play football?
I started playing football when I was 6 years old, and I just continued playing throughout the little league and junior high school. And fortunately enough, when I got to high school, I was offered a scholarship by the Arkansas Razorbacks, and it was hands down where I wanted to go to school at. So it wasn't any other choice in the world for me.
I see Tori's sister Sydney has a question.
Did you like the practice or the real games?
I would say the real games. Practice was like going to work every day, and then the real game was like the paycheck. So it was a lot of fun to go out there and play on Saturdays and play in front of the Razorback crowd. And they're some of the best fans in the world.
Jax, go ahead, buddy.
What was your favorite game playing for the Razorbacks?
I would definitely say hands down, we played LSU when they were #1 in the country, and we beat them in triple overtime. And that was definitely one of my favorite games of all time.
I see a lot of fist bumps and big smiles when you mention
Okay, so wait, can I hear me?
Yeah, Evan, go ahead.
Darren, I was gonna ask you about the celebration after the game. I really like that celebration after the game. What do you have?
That was one of those games. It was just a big build up that week going into the game. I felt like LSU coach Les Miles at the time, he kind of disrespected Arkansas by calling us Arkansas, and so I had a lot of weight on my shoulders about that right there. And so it was just caught in the moment of the game, and it was definitely a great game for us.
Yes, right.
Oh, Dean, I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
How did you get so good at being a running back?
It took a lot of practice, man. There was a lot of practice and hard work. Like I said, I started playing at 6 years old, and I just continued to play and to continue to try to develop my game. And fortunately enough, I was blessed to make it to be able to play for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Who else has a question? Max, you have a question, bud?
Yes. So if you weren't playing football, what other sport would you play?
That's a good question there. I think if I wasn't playing football, I probably would have ran track. I feel like I had a fast enough track time that I could ran track at the University of Arkansas. I actually thought about it at times, but that would have been a big commitment, and I wanted to stay focused on football.
Who else has a question?
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry, Josie Lane, go ahead.
What was it like playing in the NFL?
For me, it was like a dream come true. Like I say, I always wanted to be a Razorback, and then getting to the play for the Razorbacks was like one of my lifelong dreams. And then making it to the NFL was just like, I was blown away. And I definitely love playing in the NFL. It was a big jump from college football. And fortunately enough, I played decent enough to play 10 years, and it was definitely a good time. I love your hat too, buddy. Don't hide. Come on back, man.
Asking a question.
Do you want to ask him, bud?
Go ahead, Evan.
So, okay. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, so how was it? What was it like scoring your first touchdown when you went into the NFL?
It's funny you asked that. I actually have a picture that my first touchdown is actually against the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was just it was unbelievable. It's like a perfect picture because it was a diving touchdown, and it was just an unbelievable touchdown for me.
Yes. Cool.
Jax, did I see your hand up? Go ahead, Jax.
What's the coolest thing you've gotten to do because of your football career?
I would say meeting some legends that I looked up to playing football, like meeting guys like Emmitt Smith and Terrell Davis. You know, those are some of the guys I really looked up to when I was playing football at a young age. And just being able to meet some of those guys, that was definitely very cool for me.
Okay, so our special guest just jumped in the call.
Oh, wow.
Fresh from his trip to what I would consider one of the sports world's great cathedrals, Augusta National, and getting ready to call the Bedlam game from Norman, Oklahoma is ESPN Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk, welcome.
How are you? How you doing? What's up, Darren? How you doing, big man?
What's going on, Kirk? How's it going, man? Good to see you.
See you, man. It's been too many years. I've enjoyed watching you in the NFL.
Man.
Congrats on
Appreciate
everything,
it, man.
bud.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody.
Kirk, let me introduce you real quickly to all of our 6 special spectators from Arkansas Children's Hospital. Let's see. Let's start with Max. He's got his eye black on, his game face ready to go.
Hey.
Also,
How are you?
Jax has his eye black on as well.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Here's Josie Lynn with her special spectators eye black. See, all these kids have the game face ready.
I like it. That's awesome.
And then Evan.
Hi.
Hey, Evan, what's up, buddy?
What's up? How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you.
See you.
And Dean is sitting on his mom's lap.
Hey.
And then also sitting on her mom's lap is little Tori with the curly hair.
Hello.
So we're going to give Darren a little break from all of these tough questions and see if anyone has questions for Kirk Herbstreit.
But he's who we turn the TV off for. Off your. They use cartoon privileges once game comes on.
We'd hate to take you away from cartoons, that's for sure.
Do we watch a lot of football?
Josie Lynn's got a question for Kirk. Go ahead.
What game are you announcing this week?
Here's what I normally do. I have 4 sons, and I've gotten into a habit. They all play football. I've been fortunate enough to stay Friday nights for their football games, and then I fly to wherever I'm going. So tonight, my son Zach is a senior in high school, and they play in the state semifinals. I live in the state of Tennessee, in Nashville, and so I'm staying for his game. I'm nervous right now, anxious to see how he does. Darren, you'll get there one day. It's one thing to play, it's another thing to watch your kids.
Right.
I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to fly right after that to Norman, Oklahoma, to watch Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, both game day in the morning. And then I'm fortunate I get to stay and call the game tomorrow night on ABC.
I see that Dean has a question. Go ahead, big man.
How long have you been working for the USPN?
How long what?
How long have you been working for the USPN?
Yes.
Well, I started working there when Darren was probably in middle school, I think. I was there. I was there in 1995 was my first year, and then 1996 was my first year on College Game Day. So this is my 25th year that I've been working on College Game Day, and about my 20th year that I've been calling games on TV as well.
I'm gonna say I was still in elementary then, Kurt.
Hey, let me just say for the record, that this guy, I had so much fun watching him play, obviously in the NFL, but I'm a college football junkie. And man, his running style and the teams that he played on when he was in Fayetteville, it just so much. I know you guys have great memories of watching him play, but just as a fan of the sport, watching all these great players play, man, you were a special talent. So we have great memories of watching you play.
I definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. I think we even brought College Game Day
We played Tennessee that year.
Yeah,
when you guys came.
Those were some hyped up years. I think they're working their way back to that. It feels like, you got to be proud of this season, that the way they look, getting back.
Definitely so.
Yeah, Sam Pittman seems like he's doing it the right way.
What I've been seeing out there, I see a team that's going out there and fighting, and they're not going out there and just laying down. The record may not be reflected, but they're definitely improving a whole lot, man. And I'm proud of what I'm seeing from them. Yeah,
they definitely. It's almost like when you take over a program that's struggling like this, to me it's not about wins. It's more about the direction or the culture that he's creating. Because I think the wins are going to come. Right. But man, they're a tough team. They're physical and they got a good spirit about them. So it's been good to see that.
Definitely so, man.
Jax, what got a question?
What was your favorite game that you called?
Oh my gosh. There's been so many. I've been so lucky to call. I'm lucky enough every year I get to call the Rose Bowl, which is my favorite because I grew up in the Big Ten, and it's like you guys growing up thinking about the Sugar Bowl. I grew up thinking about the Rose Bowl. So every year I've been calling the Rose Bowl, which is probably my biggest thrill or accomplishment. And I've called more than any other analyst has ever called the Rose Bowl. So I love that. And then I get to call one of the semifinal games, and then I get to call the national championship every year. So there's just so many fun games that I've called. I would say off the top of my head, I don't know if you guys watched the year that Alabama played Georgia in the national championship, and Alabama was losing and Georgia was dominating the first half. And at halftime, Nick Saban made a really gutsy decision to bring in a true freshman quarterback named Tua Tagovailoa, who never really had played meaningful snaps up until that point. And he came in the third quarter and he brought him all the way back on that big stage in a national championship. And it went into overtime, and he hit Devontae Smith in overtime to win the game. That was just off the top of my head. That was definitely one of my favorite games.
Tori, how about you before your hand falls off?
Go ahead.
So how do you keep up with all the information?
Man, that's a great question. And today's an example of a Friday, because on College Game Day, we talk about the SEC and we talk about the Big Ten and we talk about the ACC and we talk about the Pac-12, the Big 12, all of them. And not to mention, even some of these smaller schools are having great years. So I spend almost my whole week trying to be prepared. So when I go on air on Saturday, I'm not looking at notes to try to be able to communicate. I'm just kind of just talking about the teams based on my prep work that I put in during the week. So it's a lot. If I'm not with my wife and my kids or my 3 dogs, I'm working, towards at least something I love to do, which makes it great.
Can I chime in on that one a little bit, if you guys don't mind?
Yeah.
I think with Curry's, like football players was preparing themselves for the week of the game. You have to study your playbook, make sure you know your plays, read the different defenses, or read the offense if you're a defensive player. And so it's kind of like the same. He does his research before the game, so that way when Saturday comes, he can just go out there and basically just play fast and don't have to think about anything.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I think no one really taught me how to do that. I think I fell back to, like, if you got into this, you'd probably be the same way. All you know is what you know. And so I fell back to being a player. And so when I get ready, I get ready like I'm a player, and I study film and I talk with coaches and I talk with players and do everything I can think of to try to get ready. And I probably I prepare 100% and I use probably 20% of what I prep. So, but I'd rather be over prepared than under prepared, for sure.
Right.
So lots of studying is what
I'm seeing. Yeah. Well, it's for the kids. For the kids, it'd be like if you go in to take a quiz at school, or if you took a test, and sometimes you really did a good job studying with your parents, and you did everything you could do, and you go in to take that quiz or test, and it's like, this is the easiest thing in the world. You're just going right through it. You know all the answers. And then there's been those times where maybe a test or a quiz snuck up on us, or we didn't quite do what we were supposed to do. And then we show up and we're, oh my goodness gracious, I don't know what, but that's exactly what it would be like. So always over prepare for your quizzes and tests.
Right, 100%.
Josie Lynn, let's go to you, and then we'll go to Jax next.
Carter needs to ask.
Oh, what's your favorite place to go for college game day?
Wow, I grew up in the Big Ten, and I went to Ohio State, so I always love to go home. With that, I see a Buckeye fan over there with Brutus, so I love to go back to Columbus always. But beyond that, I didn't know anything about the SEC when I first started back in the 90s. I watched it, but I didn't really know anything about it. And I have the same passion that SEC fans have and Ohio State fans have. Ohio State would fit in perfectly to the SEC because of the energy and the fans. But it was cool my first experience was in Knoxville with Peyton Manning against Steve Spurrier and Danny Werfel in 1996 when Werfel won the Heisman. And I went out into Neyland Stadium and I heard the Rocky Top song, and I mean, it was unreal, that atmosphere. And I've always enjoyed, whether it's Knoxville or Fayetteville or Tuscaloosa or Baton Rouge. I mean, it's really hard. You're splitting hairs to me because the fans are just so energetic and so passionate. So outside of Ohio State, I would say I love to go into the SEC. And the other thing about the SEC, which is I find you guys can relate, is the way they tailgate. My goodness. I mean,
Yes.
they start prepping on Thursday.
6 in the morning.
I mean, we get there on Thursday when we're not in COVID, and I'll go to wherever we go and I'll see Nerf footballs flying through the air. Smokers are already going on a Thursday night. And I'm just amazed by the dedication to tailgating that the folks in the South have. I admire it and I salute you for it, because I think it's a lot. It's like the game within the game. It's a lot of fun. And we did a game day one time at the Grove in Oxford, Mississippi, when Alabama was there. We had Katy Perry as our celebrity picker at the end of the show. And it was just a sea of humanity in the Grove. But Sam Ponder was our reporter, and she went into this tailgate. I guess it's a tailgate. It was a tent, maybe a few tents, and they had chandeliers and they had like ice sculptures. And I'm like, this is unreal. This is the tailgate for a football game, And it was, again, I'm in awe of the way you guys get after your pregame festivities. I guess you're doing a lot of home gating these days instead of tailgating.
Right.
Well, we'll get to that a little bit later, Kirk, too, because our friends at General Mills are taking care of that. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Jax, how about you? You have a question for either Darren or Kirk?
Kirk, what was your favorite player?
My favorite player would be number 5 from Arkansas, Darren McFadden.
That's a good answer.
I'm serious. I loved him. I always cheer for these guys because I get to know them a little bit, and when I watch them play in the NFL, there's so many guys that I've always, I don't know how Darren feels. I always try to have the players back. Like I try not to be a guy that's like has all the answers, or the only time I'll get worked up is when a guy is either being an individual or a guy is kind of disrespecting the game. That might get me a little worked up, but I try to be as supportive and really educational as I can be with fans. And so if a quarterback throws an interception, I try to celebrate the safety who made the play instead of being like, what was that quarterback thinking? I just think that's the way you should do it. And over the years, just because of my style, I've gotten really close with these players. And man, it's so much fun when you watch them do well in college and then go on to the NFL. You don't really talk to them as much. Like Darren would be an example of that. I haven't spoken to him much since his days in the NFL, but when I see him right away, I think about when I got a chance to be around him and what a good guy he was. So that's how it is with a lot of guys when I see them, because I don't see them for 5 or 7 or 8 years, 10 years. So I don't know. It's hard to pick just one guy. I really learned to love all these guys.
And Kirk, speaking of support and the fans, I just want to remind everyone that fans can support these kids and their families by texting HOGS to 855-933-4321. Send these kids a great message of support. We're going to collect all of those text messages that fans send us, and then we're going to compile them into a digital scrapbook for the family so they have those, you know, on those really extra tough days or when a kiddo is in treatment and needs some distraction. So fans, please text HOGS to 855-933-4321. Who else has a question? Oh, Dean's got a question. Go ahead, Dean.
How long have you been playing football?
Well, let Darren answer that. I played in college. Darren played a long time.
Well, I started, like I said, I started playing when I was 6 years old, and then, you know, went into high school and then college, and was fortunate enough to play 10 years in the NFL. And all in all, I would say I've probably played 25, close to almost 30 years of football total in my lifetime.
Wow. Now, do you have kids yet, Darren?
Yes, I have 3 boys and 2 girls now.
Okay, the question, after all that football playing, will you allow them to play like you started at 6 years old? Will you wait a little bit and play flag for a few years? Like what will you do now that you've lived that?
You see, I get that question a lot right there, and I always tell people, I'll leave it up to the child. If they decide they want to play at a young age and start out their way, I don't mind. I know the risk of the game and everything, and because I've been around it so long, so I will leave that up to them. I don't want to force it on them or anything. And just being around kids who parents have forced them to play at a young age and things like that, I always see that when they get older, they kind of get a bitter taste in their mouth about the game and don't want to play as much. So it's up to them. If they want to play football right now, my kids are actually still playing flag football. They're not doing well. One of them have played tackle, but most of them, my other 2 boys are still doing flag football. And so it's completely up to them. I know the risk of the game, and it's a lot of knowledge out there about the game. Now we know a lot more about concussions and different things. And so, me as a father, I want the best for my child. I don't want them to get hurt or get injured or anything, but at the same time, I know the risk of the game, and so I kind of leave it up to them, and I just want to try to prepare them the best way that I can.
Josie Lynn, you have a question?
Yeah, it's for Darren. Do you like to hunt?
I love to hunt. I'm actually a big rabbit hunter. I grew up rabbit hunting, and my dad had coon dogs, which is we hunted coon at nighttime, but we mainly hunted rabbit in the daytime, and so that's something I continue to do to this day still. And it's actually hunting season now, so I'm looking forward to getting home here soon in a couple of weeks and try to get out and do some rabbit hunting.
My dad voted for you for the Heisman Award.
Tell him I said thank you very much.
Jax, you have your hand up? Go ahead, bud.
This is for Darren. Do you like swimming and biking?
I actually like swimming a lot. Biking, I don't know so much. I only bike with my kids a little bit here and there, but for swimming, I like to go swimming anytime I get a chance to.
You will ask him. You got a question, Carter?
Who has a question?
Carter?
Go ahead, Carter.
Go ahead, Carter.
Oh my God. Darren, what advice would you give a young person wanting to play sports?
I would tell you, first off, you have to make sure you're taking care of your school grades and everything, because if you don't take care of your school, you can't go out there and play sports. And one thing with myself as a kid, I always wanted to commit myself to it and try to do the best that I could. It's not always going to go your way, so you can't get down on yourself or anything if something goes wrong or it doesn't go your way. You just have to always just try to stay level head and keep a level mind about it. Just go out there and always put your best foot forward.
Who else has a question? Evan, go ahead.
How often do you come to Arkansas, Darren?
My whole family still lives in Arkansas, but right now, since COVID's been going on, I kind of stay at home and try to stay safe because I have 2 young daughters at home, and I don't want to be out too much and have them exposed. And so, but I probably get home maybe a few times a month.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to miss any hands up.
Dean's being
Max or Tyson, do you guys have a question? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Go ahead, Alicia.
Sorry, Dean's being shy. He was wondering if you ever played for the defense.
One more time.
Dean was wondering if you ever played for defense.
Oh, I actually played defense in high school. I actually played free safety. And it was kind of up in the air when I went to the University of Arkansas if I would play running back or free safety. And for me, everybody was telling me to play free safety because Arkansas was known for putting out nice free safeties coming out at the time. And so I wanted to prove to everybody that I can play running back. So I wanted to try and play running back. And, Coach Danny Nutt and Houston Nutt let me play running back as a freshman. And, pretty much after that, everything was history.
Who else has a question? Max, go ahead, buddy.
So I have a question for Kurt. So what's the most iconic play that you've seen or you covered?
Iconic play or scene that I've covered. That national championship I talked about earlier was one. I don't know if you guys, if maybe Darren will remember this. Michael Crabtree was at Texas Tech, and they were down to a last play of the game, and they were ranked very highly at that point in their season, and they were playing Texas, and Texas usually beats them, and it was a big stage for them, and Texas looked like they had won the game, and it was just a couple plays left, and I think it was Graham Harrell maybe threw a pass up almost like a prayer, and Michael Crabtree went up on basically the last play of the game and caught it and scored. And I don't know if I've ever seen a town react like that. I'm talking for the game was over around 11 o'clock at night, and we had to do some work for Sports Center after. And then by the time we got to the hotel, it was probably close to 2 o'clock. And we got up early for a 6 a.m. flight. I think they partied for the whole entire night. Like, I mean, there were people on top of they were surfing cars. And, I mean, they were going crazy. So that was a pretty wild scene.
Any more questions?
Kirk, did you ever play defense?
What's that?
Did you ever play any defense?
Oh, did I? I didn't play defense. I played defense when I was, younger. Once I got to high school, the high school I went to, they just kept you on one side of the ball. So I just played quarterback.
Evan.
What was your coach you were under, Darren?
Excuse me?
Who was your favorite coach that you were under at the Arkansas?
I'm a big Houston Nutt fan. I played for Coach Houston Nutt, and I'm a big fan of his. I actually did an interview with him yesterday on CBS, and he's one of the guys I still keep in contact to this day. We actually don't live far from each other in Texas, and before COVID hit and everything, we would get together from time to time and have lunch. And so he's a great guy, and I still love him to this day.
Josie Lynn.
Carter needs to ask you something.
Carter, okay.
This is for Darren. What else kind of offers did you get besides Arkansas?
I actually committed so early. I committed as a sophomore in high school. And so I I take that back. I committed as a junior in high school. And so after I committed, a lot of schools stopped recruiting me. The only teams that actually kept recruiting me were Tennessee and Alabama. But I talked to my high school coach, and he told me, basically, if you know where you want to go already, there's no point of wasting anybody else's time or wasting your time. And so, I pretty much stopped taking phone calls from different schools because I didn't want to be swayed anywhere else. And, I was all the way a hog through and through.
Yay. You have a
Got
question?
time for maybe one or two more questions. Anyone have a question?
I have a question for either Kirk or Darren. for the kids is whenever you face negative feedback or people saying you're too small or you're not good enough, what are ways that you dealt with that and kind of persevered? Because all these kids have had challenges, so they fight daily. But hearing that great football players also go through challenges, I think is kind of helpful.
I would say the one thing for me, I always believed in myself. I knew what I could do, and I knew what I was capable of doing. Now, when I got into the NFL, I ended up starting to have a lot of injuries and things. And so I would always hear a lot of chatter about, oh, he's just an injury-prone guy. And people would say a lot of bad things about me. You know, for me, I would just block all that noise out because I know at the end of the day, I know what type of person I was and I know what type of player I was. So it didn't matter to me. You know, at the end of the day, once I'm out there on the field and I'm healthy, I could go out there and be one of the best guys in the game. And I would say for you guys, you know, you can't let anyone put you down or anything. You always have to believe in yourself and always keep a high spirit and never get down on yourself.
Yeah, that's great advice. I would echo that, and I would probably add the importance of having a really tight circle of family. You know, I think kids today are challenged on so many levels, and I know you guys deal with challenges every day. And I think all kids around this country, not just in COVID, but with social media, how cruel people can be. I think to be able to get close to God, but also to be able to get close to your family. You know, you're going to go through some tough times. There are going to be times when you maybe get away from your family. You go through the teenage years and you feel like your parents aren't, you and your parents aren't seeing eye to eye. But I think as long as you know that whether it's a coach, a teacher, a mentor, a family friend, your parents, your brothers, siblings, anybody that really knows you and cares about you, stay close to those people because at the end of the day, they have your best interest in mind, and try to block out the noise, the outside world that doesn't know you the way that the people close to you do.
You know, just to kind of go off of what,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Darren.
I was going to say, just to kind of go off of what Kurt said, you know, you have to keep a tight, close-knit circle, and you can't let the outside noise bring you down. Because at one point in my life, going into my sophomore year of college, I made a big mistake and I almost ended my football career. You know, that was probably one of the lowest points in my life. But, you know, I kept my family around me, kept tight friends around me. You know, I prayed a lot. You know, it's one thing, you know, that helped me get through it a lot. You know, I was able to overcome that injury. And, you know, I was blessed enough to still be able to play football to this day. Well, not to this day, but yeah.
Phoenix, you have a question?
Yeah. What did you feel after you played the South Carolina game?
Can you repeat that?
What did you feel after you played the South Carolina game?
I probably wouldn't have sat in the ice bath for like 30 minutes to try to recover and start getting ready for next week. I always tell people after you have a big game like that, you can only live it for that night, and you have to start preparing for the next week and getting ready for the next opponent. So, you know, we enjoyed it for that night. It was a great game. It was a record-setting game for myself, and you know, we just had a big game that night. I had a lot of great teammates around me. The fans were great that night, and I feel like that's one of the biggest games that was played in Fayetteville.
That's awesome. Well, we have some more surprises in store. Darren and Kirk, thank you so much. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys have really made this experience for these kiddos one that they will remember for a long, long time. So thank you so much for being a part of our Arkansas football virtual experience. Hopefully next season it won't be virtual, but in person. And we'll get that these families, you know, the full game day experience, and we know that will be memorable too. So Darren, thank you so much. It's like I said before, you don't meet a living legend too much, and these kids from Arkansas Children's Hospital have definitely done that today. So thank you very much. Kurt, thank you as well. We really appreciate you being on. And if I could ask you to do me a favor, we've got some great friends in Norman. So if you can say hello to our friends Lincoln Riley and Mike Gundy, who are big supporters of Special Spectators, I'd appreciate it.
I will.
Castiglione and Bob Stoops is on our board. So if you could say hi to all those
Yeah,
guys,
I will.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll hit all those boxes for you for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you, my friend.
I definitely appreciate you
Darren,
guys
if you
having me
wanna,
on.
jump off, that's fine. If you want to stay on, that's fine too. But right now, I just want to introduce Ryan Harrington from General Mills because he has a big surprise for our families.
Well, yeah, I'm going to actually turn it to Taryn to show the big surprise. But I just want to say once again, thank you from General Mills, and thank you to the Walmart team who's on the call as well, just for everything they do to provide these special surprises to the families. Thanks, Kirk, and Darren as well. Darren, I used to actually coach Diesel in baseball. If Darren's still on, his son Diesel, and he was just an awesome kid. And love coaching every minute. So I'll turn it to Taryn, but thank you all. And we're excited to see the next wave here.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're super excited as General Mills and Walmart to invite Tori, Evan, Dean, Max, Joselyn, and Jax to start unopening your boxes.
Yeah. Ooh, girl.
That's neat. What else is in there?
Dean, that box looks bigger than you are, buddy.
Check.
Yep.
Check snacks.
That's cool.
Like Tori's got her football helmet out already.
I know, but it's just, see?
And it looks like there's some solid Nature Valley and Gushers happening right now.
Oh, look at words. Oh,
The smiles.
so that's that fruit by the foot you like.
Oh, is it to dip some stuff in?
The fruit by the foot is a big hit in this house.
Wow. And what else is in there?
Oh,
I'd like to add also.
Snacks. Oh, oh, that's cool. And there's some more. That's awesome.
Well, guys, we also have one big other surprise. Blake, are we allowed to start?
I think so, because I can't wait any longer. I don't think the families can either.
I think we have one big surprise. There's some other folks on video here that are gonna jump up really quick and show you our last surprise of a drum roll. Big Walmart gift card. Thank you to them for you guys to go have a shopping spree. Lyndon.
How do you say?
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Well, thank you to General Mills and to Walmart. Just unbelievable. Walmart providing these $1,000 shopping sprees for each of the families.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And thank you to General Mills for all the support and for the at-home tailgate care packages as well. Unfortunately, we can't tailgate at the stadium, but next best thing is to do it from the safety and security of home. And so we thank General Mills for that. That's really big also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Thank you.
I just want to remind fans again to please text HOGS to 855-933-4321. Send a great, let these kids know that you're right alongside them, supporting them. Send them a great message of encouragement and we're going to gather up all those messages, and I hope it's thousands of them. I hope that's all I'm doing this weekend is compiling these messages into the digital scrapbook that we'll send to families. So please text HOGS to 855-933-4321. Let these kids know that you're supporting them, you're thinking of them. You want to put a smile on their face on some of those days that it can be pretty rough. So thank you for that as well.
And hey, from General Mills' perspective with Tailgate Nation and Walmart, we just want to thank you guys. It's about having fun with our brands, but you guys did awesome. That was so much fun. And you had great questions for Kirk and Darren. Like, that was a blast. And I hope you guys enjoy that $1,000 shopping spree. This has been awesome for the last 45 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And quick shout out to you guys. I personally loved hearing your questions too and seeing your smiling faces. Definitely remind me of my kiddos. I just want to make sure you guys have fun this weekend. Do something fun with your family. Hopefully you guys can make some fun snack mix to cheer on the Razorbacks. And thank you guys so much for making our day special too.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. And plus we got to cheer on the Razorbacks to beat LSU, right? Well, you guys are ready to do it. All guys with General Mills treats, so you'll be all fueled up, ready to cheer on the Razorbacks to victory.
Hey, Darren, you going to be watching that game?
I think he's off. I bet he is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll win and say he is, Evan. I'll just answer and say he is. And, there's some other people I'd like to thank as well. I mean, there are dozens of people that go into making this happen. And, besides General Mills and Walmart, there are our friends at Learfield IMG College, Octagon. Boy, I'm going to leave some people out and I'm going to feel like a dope for doing it. But there are just so many people to thank. And they really make this happen. I just unfortunately, I'm the face that you have to see, but I represent dozens of people who are just dedicated and passionate in, creating these events. And so I'd like to thank all of them as well. And it's, like I said before, it's been an absolute honor to get to know you guys and to finally see these faces. I mean, I see pictures, but to see your great faces and to hear your voices, all of your voices, just thank you. And it's been an honor. And I look forward to the day where we get to go to a game in person and hang out for 7-8 hours, something like that. Pre-game, during game, post-game, all of that fun stuff.
That'd be great. Thanks, Blake. Thanks for all this.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much.
You too.
Thank you all so much.
Bye.